right, welcome back to the Thunder of Serie. It's my privilege and honour today to introduce a very special guest, Mr. Santo Cilauro from Toto Football.
Hi, mate.
Very good. It's a bit nerve-wracking being here.
Hey, come on.
Nah. So, Santo, how do you feel that you're the first ever guest on our show?
Very privileged. Almost as privileged as I was when I was asked to. I'll tell the story later. To do some work for Juventus when they came out here. Although, should I say Juventus? It's okay, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm very privileged to be your first guest. Really?
Yes.
Have you asked anybody else?
Yes, we have, but they've all said no. Yes.
Give me an example. Who have you asked?
No, we've asked a couple of former.
Carlos Tevez.
No, yeah.
Francesco
Manuel
Totti.
Pellegrini, Totti, Del Piero rejected us. But that's it. First of all, tell us how you got involved with the media and where did it all begin for you?
Well, my involvement in television and in radio and whatever we do has just been one big happy accident, to tell you the truth. It's the guys that I work with, Tom Gleisner and Rob Sitch, we formed a company called Working Dog quite a long time ago, but we were all friends before that. We all went to university together. We all studied completely different things. They didn't even have drama or anything like that at uni when I was there, back in the 1920s. But we met just doing comedy shows, and so we actually kept extending our studies. We just kept on taking years off and stuff, so that we could actually just spend more time at university doing more and more shows. So yeah, we did that. So we did that. Met at university. And just enjoyed writing and acting and filming stuff, and then it just spread to television and radio and films, I guess. Yeah, great.
All right. So now we always see you involved in soccer. Where did your passion begin, and why soccer?
Well, first of all, let me just tell you that I still play indoor and stuff, and believe it or not. But the thing is that my ability to play the game has always been inverse to my enthusiasm for it. So I've always been enthusiastic. My father was involved back in the early days of Juventus, back in the 50s and the 60s. So I was born into it. Would spend a lot of time in the dressing rooms in the old state league for Juventus. And my father was an administrator, so I spent a lot of time with him when teams toured the country. There were amazing teams that used to come out here. All Manchester Uniteds, Manchester Cities, all the great sides came out here. All the great Italian sides used to come out here as well. So it was a great thrill as a kid, just growing up through that. Even apparently I don't remember the story, but when my sister was born, my dad and I basically before the days when you went to the hospital to actually for the birth. Yeah. My dad got the news that my sister was born, and we literally drove past St Vincent's Hospital. My mum was on the balcony, and he waved and said, "We'll see you after the match." Oh. So we went to Olympic Park to watch a Juventus game, and then saw my sister for the first time. Our passion for the game goes that far, and truly the greatest thrill of my whole life in terms of soccer was taking my dad to a World Cup in 2002 in Japan.
How did that go?
Right. Well, it was good to take him to a World Cup. Unfortunately, it was Japan and Korea, so taking a 70-year-old Italian guy there, and he's just going, "Do we really have to eat this stuff?" I'm like, "You have to eat that stuff." So I think by the end of that trip, he knew every single espresso machine in Tokyo. He knew exactly where to go, and we knew every single Italian restaurant there as well. But that was fun. There was some crazy stuff that happened in that. There was one time in Korea where we literally had nowhere to sleep. There was nowhere to go, and it's quite a long story, so I'll cut it very short. We ended up sleeping in a brothel. But we didn't know, because we were just told, go to this place and you'll find a place to sleep. Wow. So we ended up going to this place, and I walked in there and I'm going, this place looks weird. It looks really weird. It was like a lady in a titanium box. It's just saying, your room is number 67 and there's a towel. So we went in there. We ended up top and tailing in a heart-shaped bed. Oh. And there's pictures. I've got some pictures. I'll put them up somewhere. But and it was. The crazy thing that in the morning when we woke up to go to the game, everyone else in the hotel were also soccer fans. So everyone who was going to that game was there. But the tragic thing about that World Cup was that it was the first time you could get team-specific tickets. So we had all the Italian tickets, and basically arrived the day they got knocked out. So we got to see all the games that Italy would have played in. Had Christian Vieri scored on the line, and had that crazy referee not given too many free kicks against Italy. But anyway, you wouldn't even know about this.
I wouldn't.
He was just a little sprocket. Yeah. So that's how all the passion came from the family.
Beautiful. So I heard a story that you worked for Juventus at one stage. Is this true?
It's a funny story. It sometimes gets exaggerated, and I can't tell whether I exaggerated it myself, because it's gone through so many different versions that I don't know which is the true one anymore. But I'll try and remember it, especially for you. I was at Melbourne University. It was basically, just by chance, I just had this. This is how we used to get our information in the olden days. You just click onto the Gazzetto site now, but we used to actually just get this, and we used to wait for it to come out at the news agency in Carlton. Anyway, so that's when Juve won the Scudetto in '84, and they came out to Australia in that same year.
Okay.
Most of the Juve side were the Italian champions as well. They won it in 1982. So it was a massive team. Rossi was there, Cabrini, Zoff, Serie, who's now passed away. Gentile was there. It was just a great side. And there was all these internationals that great international, Boniek, sensational guys. You know, I was at university. I was literally going to my Zia Rosa and Zia Maria, they're two sisters who live in Park Street, West Brunswick, who would make pizzas for me all the time. Okay, so maybe once a week, once every couple of weeks, I'd go to their place. Oh, Santo, pizza, abbiamo pizza. So I literally went there to get, and went past the Park Royal Motel, which is opposite Princess Park, and I saw all these sort of news vans out there, and I thought, oh, I know, Juventus is staying at that motel. Because my dad told me they must be having a press conference, and I thought I'll go and check out what's going on. So I walked in there, and they're all setting up, and I'll never forget there was a journalist who went up to Giovanni Trapattoni, who was the coach at the time, a fantastic coach, I love him, and he's going, "Excuse me, but do you have a translator? Who's going to answer all your questions?" "Me. I speak English. I answer the questions." And I'm sitting there, well, there's an accident waiting to happen, because. First question. So tell me, Mr. Trapattoni, how do you think the team will go this year? Do you think they'll? And he's just sitting there, they have no idea. So I put my hand up. I said, and I started translating. I said, what he's asked is this and the other. Before I knew it, I was their translator for the whole tour. So I basically travelled with the team, and my job, it's a translating job. I realised what my job really was. It was a little bit of translating, and a whole lot of stuff like, can you hold on to the players' wedding rings while they go out tonight? So there was a lot of that going on, and a lot of, back obviously pre-mobile phone days, there was a lot of answering phones from the wives going, no, he's in a team meeting at the moment. So I had to navigate through a lot of delicate kind of situations. But it was good fun.
All right, Santo, what would be your main highlight in football over the past 30 years that you hold like highly to your heart, like the best thing you've seen in football for you?
I literally thought after the Italy-Australia game in Germany, the one that Australia lost, and I was devastated, I thought, you know what, I could just die now and it doesn't make any difference. I've done what I wanted to do in the world of football. I've seen Italy play Australia at a World Cup in a final stage. I would never in my wildest dreams have imagined, let alone going to see something like that, to actually have imagined Australia actually doing that. Because I went to a couple of World Cups. I went to 2 World Cups before Australia got into a World Cup, and whilst I had really loved them and I thought they were sensational World Cups, I just kept on thinking, Italy kind of annoyed me following Italy at a World Cup, because regardless of whether they do well or not do well, they take it for granted. And I kept on thinking, you guys don't understand what this means. If Australia gets in, it's important. Don't you understand? You guys just walk away to your own season, and it doesn't matter. So I always dreamt of Australia playing, and I always dreamt of Australia playing against Italy because I did want Australia to beat Italy. I did. I just wanted, I just want them to say that enthusiasm and love and passion can actually beat, the glamour boys of, if we don't win it this time, we'll win it next time. Yeah. So that was, and also, I think one of the great things about that game is it showed the beauty of football and what it really is like, the fine line between pleasure and pain. How everything is just tiny, and it always makes me laugh whenever I love AFL. I go all the time. And whenever people say to me, but this soccer's so boring, they hardly ever score. I'm going, that's the beauty. That's like saying, it's like saying, spaghetti tastes bad because it tastes like spaghetti. And but that's what it is. That's why it tastes so good. You can't make it taste like sushi. It's a different thing. So that to me, that was the highlight. Really, I think in my football highlight.
It was one of mine. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Who are you following? Were you going Australia?
Italy, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I when I went to my first the very first thing I ever saw at a World Cup in 1998, I went and saw Italy play Austria, I think, or Belgium, maybe Austria. And there's a whole bunch of English guys next to me in Italian gear, singing the Italian national anthem.
Oh, yeah.
And they were just a bunch of migrants they were born in England, so they spoke like this, they would talk, and they didn't even care about England. They didn't follow anyone in the Premier League.
Yeah.
They just followed Serie A. They followed Italy, and they just like Cockney accenty kind of guys. So it's amazing where loyalties go. But no, I was going for Australia that day, big time.
Fair enough. Yeah. So Santo, have you ever attended a Serie A match? And if so, who was it and where was it?
I saw the very first time I went to Italy when I was about 15. I went and saw Lazio play Napoli at the Olimpico, which was sensational. But I actually don't remember much of the game, to tell you the truth, because I was a bit overawed about what was. I couldn't believe that I was there as a kid. And then, a long time later, actually not that long ago, I actually never really. I always followed the Serie A, but I never made it a pilgrimage or anything like that. Yeah. And every time I was in Italy, it was always summertime. But I did go and see a really good friend of mine is a mad Sampdoria fan. Wow. So I went to the Marassi to see Sampdoria and AC Milan about 3 years ago, which was great. Loved it. But I find myself, I'm never really impressed by anything, strangely enough. As in, I go to places and go, here we are. And to me, all I kept on thinking is that the stadium was such a crappy stadium. I'm walking around, I'm going, really? Is this the stadium? It's just, it feels kind of slightly crappy, I think we're lucky. I remember coming back from the 1998 World Cup, and I'd just been to the final, and I came back to see a Collingwood-Essendon game because I followed Collingwood, and it wasn't the Anzac Day game; it was the return game. It was a beautiful, crisp July day, but there were 92,000 people at the ground. Okay, and it was a really tough, close game. Yeah. And at halftime, there was this breath of, geez, that was a really tight affair. And a guy, come up to me and goes, mate, I heard you on the radio. I saw you on the telly. Were you at the World Cup? And I'm going, yeah, I was, because we were doing some stuff. We did a show called The Panel back then, and I was reporting for that. And Tony Martin, Mick Malloy used to have a radio show, so I was reporting for them. And I said, yeah, I was. He goes, mate, were you at the final? And I go, yeah, I went to the final. He goes, oh, mate, is that the greatest thing you've ever been to? Yeah. I said, actually, it was one of the greatest things, but have a look at this. This is a home and away game at the MCG with 92,000 people. So, you know what I mean? We're lucky here as well with our sport in Melbourne, I reckon.
Yeah. In your opinion, who do you think was the best ever player to play in Serie A?
The best player to play in Serie A, boy, see, I can go back to the 80s and 90s, can't I? Yeah. See, I know this sounds ridiculous, right? I'll put him up there. I think Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, who played for Inter Milan, German guy, I thought was a really special player. Don't laugh. He was good. I think that the three Dutchmen in the AC Milan side of the 90s were sensational. So Van Basten, Rijkaard and Gullit were really, really good. I still get shivers when I see Andrea Pirlo score a goal. Like when he scored the goal the other night, I really felt that was special, and I think he's a special player. I think that Del Piero was a really special player, a really special player. But some, boy, if I had to name some Italian, look, I think Zidane is probably the best player ever to have played Italian football, I reckon. Yeah. I think.
That's fair enough. I don't. I think.
Who do you think?
I reckon Baggio.
You reckon Baggio's the greatest?
Yes. Well, he was one.
Look, I loved him. I really did. I thought he was fantastic. Tell me, in the Roma ranks, go on. Do you think Totti's up there is he in the top?
Yeah, he has to be. 10? Yes, he has to be. Yes, he is. Yeah. He's a legend of world football, I reckon. Even in Italy mainly, but
he's amazing.
He's a pretty good player.
You know, in the 2006 game against Australia, I was lucky enough to have a media press card to go into the mixed zone. So, which is the mixed zone is basically where players go from the dressing rooms to the bus, basically, and they don't have to answer any questions to anybody because the people asking questions aren't rights holders, but they can stop and answer if they want. There was a lot of Italian players stopping and answering questions, you know, talking about stuff, and I was just eavesdropping on all of them and filming all of them, and I found myself right next to Totti as he was answering. Maybe it was either Gazzetta or Tutto Sport or someone, and I just heard him say, I was going to do a little cucchiaio for the penalty. I was actually thinking of doing the little panenka, what it's called, panenka, the little, and he said no, I wasn't going to do it. And then I thought about it. I thought I'm not going to do that in a final, not when we were, you know, one man down and going into extra time tied. So it was great to hear him talk. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. But he has been great, and I really admire him for having kicked Balotelli.
I remember that. Yeah, he kicked Balotelli.
That was probably the most blatant red card I think I've ever seen in my life. He gets beaten by Balotelli, chases it, and just kicks it in the back of the leg.
Typical Totti. And I just want to know your personal prediction to win this year's Serie A title.
I think Juventus will win it, and don't you try.
Don't think it's going to happen.
Really? Yes. Go on, tell me why. Tell me why.
I think Roma's got more to offer than Juventus. Well, even though Juventus just nick results. They just nick results. They put all 11 behind the ball and nick the result.
You've got to win ugly. Hey, look, I'm not talking as a Juve, like, I'm not. I follow Juve, but I'm not mad about them. But it's too hard to chase them down now, surely. There's not enough games left.
There is.
You live in hope.
No, I am in hope.
Good on you.
Next Tuesday, it's Juventus, so we're going to beat them. We'll beat them. And if we don't, we'll set up another interview for you to give it tomorrow. And last question, if you could describe Andrea Pirlo in one word, what would it be?
Pure class is 2 words, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's the word to describe him? I just think Rolls Royce, or just royalty. There's something, you know what I mean? There's just something about him. That, you know, that class.
That
class about him. And isn't it amazing? AC Milan, I don't think we need him anymore. Really?
Yeah.
Really? A guy who can just say, I'm 40 out, doesn't matter.
That's it.
I'll give it a whack. I saw him play in Sydney, and I just saw him do a couple of things that I thought he didn't have to do very much. In fact, he didn't do very much. But that's the beauty in football. You just need one goal and one piece of brilliance to, you know, really when in the 2006 semi-final against Germany, really, I mean, the layoff to Grosso was truly unbelievable. Really, when you just thought anybody else would have had, would have had a rip at it there, and especially with him, he just knew exactly what to do.
Well, there you have it, folks. Mr. Santo Cilauro, thank you for coming on the show, and we hope to have you again.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
That was good. See you.